This episode is brought to you by Skinny Pop Popcorn. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Oh, so light and crunchy. Skinny Pop Original Popcorn is the snack you've been searching for. Made with just 3 simple ingredients: popcorn kernels, sunflower oil, and salt. Snacking never felt or tasted so good. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Give yourself permission to snack and pick up Skinny Pop Original Popcorn today.
Auto insurance can all seem the same until it comes time to use it. So don't get stuck paying more for less coverage. Switch to USAA Auto Insurance and you could start saving money in no time. Get a quote today. Restrictions apply.
USAA. There's no place like the Cube.
I'm Adele.
And I'm Anna.
And we are ACAD Productions. Get ready to nod your head and laugh out loud as we bring an unfiltered perspective to Black life in predominantly white spaces. So, welcome to The Head Nod, Season 1, Black Life at a PWI. Amidst unfamiliar faces, they stand tall, undeterred. New paths unfurl and a landscape less traversed. Their heritage, a beacon, their courage, a steady guide. At PWIs, they carve their narratives side by side. Release.
There were so many words in there I did not know.
Girl, they was just like, we gonna put undeterred, traversed. Okay.
I'm like, what is happening?
I said right to me about the first day of school before Black people at the PWI. And that's what it said.
Wow.
Yeah.
Welcome to The Head Nod.
Boom, boom, boom. Yes.
Yes, indeed. We've got another episode for you today, Head Nod family. What's going on, Adele?
What's going on, Anna Deshawn? Good to see you, friend.
Good to see you too, my friend. And today's show is really, really fun because we got like an expert in the building. Like someone who really is invested in student success. You know what I mean? Her name is Shandra L. McDonald. And she got letters behind her name.
Letters.
Adele.
Meaning very important person, you know.
Exactly. DPA, okay? Now, no, but for real, family, let me tell you about Shandra. She is a student success strategist, for real, for real. She is truly passionate about helping college freshmen survive and thrive during their first year of college so that they can graduate within 5 years. She is the author. That's right. She's actually written a book about this, okay? She is the author of Academic Survival, Simple Strategies for Improving Your Grades, and she is the host of the Academic Survival Podcast. What's going on, Shandra?
Yay!
Welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, indeed. And I don't know. I mean, here's the deal, family. You might just catch us on her show too.
Yes, you will.
We be outside.
Because we be outside.
Yes.
Now, Shandra, to kick off every show, we ask the good people to tell us the school you went to, the call out, and the call out of your school.
All right.
But so you got a lot of schools though, so
you could just pick, you know.
Just pick. So the I will go with my first one, and that is California State University, Long Beach, and our call out is simple. It is Go Beach.
Oh wow. Straight to the point. Go Beach.
You know what? That could not really be good. Did y'all have a football team?
We used to.
Oh, so it doesn't give that. It doesn't give that they had a football team.
I mean, the moment you get just a little drunk, that beach
might
can be a lot of things.
A little bit of it. That's true.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of it as an activity. They just missed go to the beach. Yeah.
Go beach. Yeah. My other school was University of La Verne. And I don't know. don't know what their call out is.
But we do say, if you don't know, what would you make up for it? Like, what would you?
Okay, let's see.
Think it would be?
Oh, it's hot out here. because my first school is in Long Beach, so it is close to the water. The other school is so much further inland that it is known for being hot. So yeah, so that's what we would say. That's what would be the call out.
Just have Nelly's song "Hot in Here"
It's
playing in the
hot in
background.
here. Yes.
Yes.
But we don't want nobody taking off their clothes, okay?
Might be too
We
late.
don't.
It's so hot, Anna. It might be too
Oh,
late.
it might be. Which actually brings back this crazy college memory. We had a streaker or two for sure.
Yeah, we did too. I just
what was the
think
streaker?
that was a thing at PWIs. They just like to be naked. That's just kind of
sorry.
their thing.
No, we didn't have any naked. We didn't have any streakers. Just, the typical, it's raining, but y'all got on shorts and flip-flops.
Oh, yeah. And them soggy Uggs in the middle of the rain, smelling up the place. Yes. Yes. We've said in the past before, like, I used to get up in the morning and look out the window and try to see what the weather was, but I would not move from that window until I saw a black person. Because you just do not know. White folk have on hoodies and shorts and sandals and a wool hat. You're like, what is the weather? So you just wait till one of us walk past.
That's what it is.
Because I'm terribly confused by you
So
at this point.
confused. What is your outfit?
So confused.
We need our own weather channel.
Yes, exactly. So what made you decide to go to a PWI?
Well, let's see. For me, it was the school that was the closest to my house. And I was torn between, do I want to go to Howard University? And then when I realized that I probably didn't have the requirement to get in, I had other options available to me. So anyhow, when I was in high school, I was in a program called Upward Bound, and it was for like first generation, low income high school students to to get into college. And Long Beach, the California State University, Long Beach, for short, we call it Long Beach State. That was the university that sponsored our school. And so they provided activities and like a summer program and a number of other things for the local high school students. And so for me, that was a logical choice because I had all the assistance I was going to need in order to get in.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's why I ended up choosing that school. Yeah.
So you walked on campus. What was that like that first time?
So I had kind of an advantage in that since Long Beach State like literally was taking students from like my high school and a number of like inner city high schools. My first time on campus was actually while I was in high school, and rather than as a college student, and so it didn't feel as overwhelming as it could have felt because again I had already been there for high school. And then I participated in the summer program for Upward Bound, which literally allowed me to stay on campus while I was in high school with a bunch of other high school students, but it literally allowed us to stay on campus for I think about 4 or 5 weeks. And so I was very familiar with the campus when I was in high school. Then we had what we call a summer bridge program, which again took first generation or low income college students and provided a transition. So literally the summer before going into my freshman year, a number of us participated in that program. So literally my first day at college felt like, where are my people? Yeah. Where are the people I spent all summer with? So it didn't feel, it just didn't feel odd. I didn't feel like I was out of place. Again, where's my people? So that's what that experience was like.
That's awesome.
That's really dope.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot about Upward Bound. I know in undergrad, we even had people who were mentors to young people who would come on campus who were part of the Upward Bound program. And I only heard good things. So that's really, really dope.
Yeah, I had the benefit of, so when I was in high school rather, I didn't meet all the college requirements to get in. And so I got into college through the EOP program, and it allowed me to, like, I was short on the math credits, and I was short on, I think it was something else. No, actually it was just math. But my application was walked in through the Upward Bound program. Like, they hand delivered my application to the university. So, I just felt like it gave me an advantage.
That's so wonderful.
That is.
Because so many people probably didn't have that opportunity.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't have been accepted without those requirements.
Yeah.
And so big ups to Upward Bound.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Making it happen.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Do your thing.
Making it happen for the people. Now, you on campus, you comfortable, you like, I've been here. Okay, I know where the food hall is. I'm looking for my people. What did you get into on campus?
Oh, gosh. Let's see. Well, mostly parties.
Oh,
Come on, tell me about the turn up.
About these parties.
So I was really interested in. Okay, so small little thing. Okay,
Are we whispering now?
We're
whispering. When I was in high school, remember I told you I was like behind on my math credits.
Uh-huh.
So I tried to go to a local city college so that I could get caught back up. But I didn't pass, so I didn't get caught up. But what I did get was a college ID, and so when I was in high school,
okay. I
would go to the parties at Long Beach State, and I would use the college ID from Long Beach City College to get into the parties at Long Beach State when I was in high school.
You were already locked in so many ways.
Yo.
Before getting to the actual college, you was having a pre-college experience.
I was.
Okay?
I really was.
You already having it.
Let me tell you, I didn't see this coming, okay?
At all.
I did not see this coming.
Okay? At all.
I'm glad we started to whisper.
Yes. It all came out. So what were the parties like? Yes.
They were really fun. They were hosted on campus. It wasn't anything that was too wild. Like, I'm afraid to date myself.
No worries.
Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid.
But so the electric slide.
Okay. Yeah.
We still do the electric slide.
We still do.
We good.
Yeah.
You good.
Yeah. But it originated like when I was in college. So
I got you there. It was yeah.
So and it was the Digital Underground the Humpty Dance. Like,
yes.
it was the perfect song to do the electric slide to. Yes. So that's how long it's been. So yes, I am dating myself.
The Humpty Dance is a whole vibe, like college level. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. That's pretty cool. All right.
Yeah. So the other things that I got into, I was a struggling student. So aside from, trying to have fun on the weekends, I wasn't involved in, there weren't any as a matter of fact, there was a fraternity, or it was like a co-ed fraternity sorority thing. I think it was called HOTEP that was started when I was on campus. But prior to that, it was just all Greek. But yeah, but I didn't do any of that. I mean,
good. I kind of feel like that's good.
Okay.
Don't want to be a hotep right now.
I don't know. Is there? I don't even remember. I just remember them starting. But it sounds like do they have another history that I'm not aware of?
Well, the politic of the thing.
Yeah.
I don't think it's anything you want to have to do with, really.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay,
no
well,
hoteps.
No
Yep, no
okay.
hoteps around here.
Okay.
All right.
This
So what else was
has
going
been,
on?
like, quite random for me right now. It was like the college experience, the ID, the hoteps. Like, this is lots of. I'm just trying to process.
And let me tell you, with the I'm important person, letters behind your name. I didn't see the fake ID coming.
I damn sure didn't see the hotaps. That came out of left field.
Definitely did not. So what did you major? What did you major in? What did you study?
So I studied criminal justice. I wanted to be a probation officer. So I've had members in my family who had run-ins with the law, but just very loving, caring people who, there's a difference between making bad choices and having bad choices. And they just really just didn't have the same opportunities that I had. And so I had just really a compassion. So I wanted to be a probation officer. And at the time, criminal justice was more about rehabilitation and not punishment. And so that's why I was going down that route. And then the three strikes you're out legislation came into effect literally while I was a criminal justice major. And I was like, oh, this is not what I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I went to school to become a probation officer.
So what
Thank you, President Clinton.
I know, right?
You ended up switching to, and kind of how did you find that major for yourself?
Yeah. So I ended up switching to, I stayed with criminal justice, but when I graduated, didn't have a job. So I immediately rolled into a master's program, master's in public administration. And while I was in school, I was looking for a job and was literally trying to get into the California Youth Authority. And at the same time, throughout my journey in college, I struggled a lot when I was a freshman. And then over time, I improved my grades, graduated with honors. And so the federal government had a program called the Outstanding Scholars. And it didn't matter what your GPA was, as long as you had a minimum GPA of 3.5. I'm sorry, it didn't matter what your major was, as long as you had a minimum GPA of 3.5. And so I applied to the Federal Aviation Administration and got in. So I didn't end up going down the criminal justice route at all. Instead, I went down aviation security. So went from criminal justice to more like anti-terrorism.
Okay. Listen. You are so resourceful. Found all the programs and the different things to get it. A didn't work, so I went B. B didn't work, so I found C. Listen, there's a way.
And C is much larger than B.
Seriously.
You went from criminal justice probation officer for my local cousin to anti-terrorism for the whole country.
For the whole country, for all of us. Okay.
Yeah. So the university at the time had a career center. I mean, I know they still do, but it was literally a dial-up. Like for full-time jobs, press 1. For part-time jobs, press 2.
Wow.
And just literally went through this automated system, heard about the job, applied for it, and the rest is history.
That's awesome. And times have indeed changed. But that's awesome for press 1.
I'm telling you.
Full time, press 1.
If you did that to the kids today would be like, what?
Right?
They wouldn't even know how to write down the number. They'd be like, wait.
Hold on. They say just press the number? That's cool.
Yes.
This episode is brought to you by Skinny Pop Popcorn. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Oh, so light and crunchy. Skinny Pop Original Popcorn is the snack you've been searching for. Made with just 3 simple ingredients: popcorn kernels, sunflower oil, and salt. Snacking never felt or tasted so good. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Give yourself permission to snack and pick up Skinny Pop Original Popcorn today.
Want to be more active this summer? Sierra helps you save on everything from swimsuits to stand-up paddleboards, tennis rackets to fishing tackle. And if that doesn't float your boat, we also have pool floats. Sierra, let's get moving to your local store, like now. Go!
Party on at this PWI.
So I know earlier, we were kind of talking about music a little bit and the electric side and all that. But so we have a few segments. So one of our segments, we do talk about music. So what is a song that you learned that, was created by a white artist or something that you may not have been exposed to prior to going to a PWI?
Ooh, there is, I just keep hearing this like this song is like, get into your car and drive to the other side. I can't think of the name of the song though. But I loved me some, what's the, Boy George. I loved Boy George. I loved, I can't think of any songs right now. Yeah, I am so sorry. Before we go, I'm gonna have a song for you.
So that song, is it Stepping Out by Joe Jackson?
No.
What did you just find, Anna? What are you?
I Googled what Shandra said. Get into the car and drive to the other side.
Stepping Out by Joe Jackson.
To the, I don't, you know what? I don't know. I'm sorry.
The internet says it was released in 1982 on the Night and Day album, and the artist is Joe Jackson. We learned something new today on the Head Nod, okay?
The other Joe Jackson.
There's a white Joe Jackson.
That's crazy. His name is Joe Jackson, though. That in itself is crazy.
I was like, Joe Jackson?
Joe Jackson? You heard me like, Anna, no. Wrong Joe.
Wrong Joe. Which got me thinking about Cotton Eye Joe. But anyway.
No.
I know it's your favorite song.
No. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home.
So, Shandra, we had this segment called No Place Like Home. And it's all about like the moment you were at school and you were like, I cannot take this PWI anymore. I just want to click my heels 3 times and go home. Debbie, did you have any of those moments?
So I kind of cheated because, I lived in the same city that I went to school in. So for me, I got to go home. I literally got to go home. So I didn't. Let me think for a second. If I had a no place like home moment, it would probably be more related to academics than just the experience, right? Like, yeah. So I'm thinking like probably there was a situation where there was a professor for, I think he was like an educational occupation. Like anyhow, there was a professor. I can't remember the exact subject that he taught, but we had a moment where he made some inappropriate, like completely inappropriate comments about Black students and about Black people in general. And basically indicated that, our history really originated with slavery. And so that created a whole uproar among the Black Student Union and the Black students in general. And so long story short, that professor ended up, I don't know if he ended up retiring, but he was removed. That would probably be a moment that not necessarily like I need to be back home, but just kind of like, wow, like this is, I wasn't expecting this because, with me being at Long Beach State and it being a predominantly white institution, like that's when I was there. Although there was indeed diversity, it was still a predominantly white school. But Long Beach is so diverse that that there wasn't. I didn't feel like I was like the sole Black person, or I didn't feel like I didn't have like my people, around me or on campus. Again, like I said, when I was in that that summer bridge program, it allowed me to meet a lot of people who had similar backgrounds. And so I didn't really feel that, that sense of I need to be back home, other than, that particular moment is the one that stands out to me. Like, oh, like I didn't realize that we were not that we weren't going to be as unwelcomed as we were.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know whatever happened to that professor?
I know that he didn't finish out that year, and I don't recall him coming back at all.
Good. Yeah.
Adele's like, Good.
Yeah.
Because it's like crazy to me. Like, we've talked about this a few times with a few different guests on where, when we get on these campuses, we find our people, we find our community within fellow students. And then if some are lucky, a few faculty and staff. But it's like, as a professor, you can't, it's supposed to be something secure there. Like, you're here to teach me, you're here to do all these things or whatever.
Right.
But to kind of still come out your neck sideways with something just super ridiculous, like, that's going to be okay on like a professorial collegiate level. Like, you don't need to be here. That's
yeah. We had a professor who was just really made all Black students feel like they were at home. And so, and so like people would just pile into his class. Like, when is he teaching? And I remember his name was Professor Ra. Like, when is he teaching? And people would just pile into his classroom. We also had Dr. Karenga, the founder of Kwanzaa, also taught at my university. So I had him for a class briefly, and we also had one of the things that I loved at the time was we used to have these annual Black Consciousness conferences. And so they would bring in, people from different universities, and it was just like a full weekend of Black consciousness. And so that was really, I think that was really, like, really gave me a sense of belonging and just being able to be around in an educational setting that, like, if anything, that would have been like my little HBCU,
right?
Like that weekend, that particular weekend. So our school at the time was really known for that conference, and I don't know what happened to it, but over time, even though I went to a PWI, like, the demographics have changed so drastically that school's my undergraduate school is no longer predominantly white. Yeah.
That's pretty unique.
Yeah. Yeah, it's predominantly Hispanic now. That's the largest demographic.
Love that. And that conference sounds so progressive. Yeah.
Yes.
It tracks that it would be in California. That tracks. Like where you're located, but it sounds incredibly progressive, and it sounds like they brought some dynamic people to campus.
Oh, absolutely.
To help make y'all feel like you were at home. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not this week. Not today. Not today or tomorrow. Okay. My classroom looked different. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I have a question. How did you know?
So our other segment is, how did you know? So was there a moment when you were walking around campus and you were enjoying it that you knew this was a good fit for you and you were happy to be here? What was that moment?
Oh, so this actually happened quite early on. So remember when I was, at two moments. So remember when I told you I participated in the Summer Bridge program? Well, in the Summer Bridge program, we got to know each other so well that people had nicknames. And there was this one guy, he was from Oakland. And we nicknamed him when we were in Summer Bridge, and his nickname was Cornbread. And so it was the time on campus where, when we're all seeing each other once again after having had our break, in the summer after Summer Bridge was over. And it was just literally like hearing someone shout out, Cornbread! And it was like, wait, where is it? And he was really tall, like, I don't know, like 6'2", 6'3". And so that was one moment. And then another moment is going to sound so weird. But so when I was, then this was actually during Summer Bridge, now that I think about it. But I was eating in the dining hall. So when I was on campus, actually going through school, I didn't live on campus because I lived close. So there was no way that we were going to pay that kind of money when it's a 20-minute drive. Right. so I stayed at home. But during Summer Bridge, there was a time where just going through the line, like making, in the dining hall, going through the what feels like an assembly line, trying to figure out what you're going to eat. Mm-hmm. And they had some cornbread. and I got some cornbread. And then I went over to, the beverage dispenser. I go over to the beverage dispenser, pour me some milk and my cornbread, topped it off with sugar. And then one of my fellow classmates was like, cornbread and milk? You eating cornbread? Now, I don't know if you guys are from this. I don't know, if you've ever had cornbread and milk. Most people will have cornbread and buttermilk, but that was a thing. And so when somebody was like, cornbread and milk, like just the fact that they recognized that this weird thing that I was making was cornbread with sugar and milk in it, and they were able to relate. That was a moment for me.
I love that. Yeah.
I have not experienced that, but okay.
It is so good. It is so good. It's better if the cornbread is hot. Like my mom would make like cornbread, collard greens, and she's like, "You're not gonna eat them together?" No, I'm eating my cornbread hot with my milk. Let me pour some sugar on. Yeah, so cornbread.
So sugar goes on the bread. Or in the milk.
So it's almost like a cereal. So you put
I was just about to say you had cornbread cereal.
Yes.
You made your own cereal.
Yeah.
Well, Adele don't like soggy bread. So Chandra, we have to excuse her right now because she also don't eat dressing. Okay. So, but I am very interested in this concept. Now, my mama from Mississippi. I don't know where in the South this originated.
Oh,
but
your mama's got to know.
And about to be eating some soggy milk bread after
this. Your mama's got to know. So you get your cornbread, you put it in a bowl, you heat it up, you put some sugar on it because, like I said, I don't use buttermilk. So you put some sugar on it, pour you some milk in the bowl, and mash it up.
Oh no!
And then you eat it. It is so good.
Oh no, Anna, you'll have updates in a couple of weeks, right? Because I won't be.
Google it.
The second you said put the milk in, I was out. Okay, I'm literally that person. My cornbread will be on a separate plate so that no liquids touch my bread. Like I cannot.
I need to hear from the people on this one, okay? Yes. I need to hear who else is eating cornbread and milk, okay?
Yes. Google it. I'm telling you.
No soggy breads.
I don't even drink milk like that no more to even try this because I can't imagine it's good with almond milk. You need real milk.
Well, that'll probably give you your sweetness though. Like almond milk has a little bit of sweetness to it. I won't be doing that, but power to you. Ooh, my stomach started hurting.
I gotta check with my peoples. Gotta check with my peoples.
No for me.
Oh, that's hilarious. But okay, I know it's a no for you. And it is those moments where you feel seen that make PWI environments tolerable.
Yeah.
Right? Like Chandra, you've mentioned like finding your people. You had your people before you even
she got on campus, okay?
Like,
people was at the pre-people meetup, okay? It was a pre-people meetup that happened.
Right. People had nicknames, okay? Cornbread was a thing before we even stepped foot on campus.
Did they name you Cornbread too? Like, was that the nickname?
No.
But it is those moments that stood out to you so many years later. And I think it's just so, so important. So
and honestly,
that was
to
hilarious.
that point too, Anna, it's like, one thing that I've enjoyed about us with this show is like when you find your people, it's not just like your people, but commonalities. Like it's crazy, right? Like we all grew up in all different parts of the world, but we will find that line of commonality, like something that we all do or all have experienced or something that kind of helps us feel more connected while in these predominantly white spaces. And it's dope.
Yeah.
It really is because we talk about intersectionality, right? And we always go like race, gender, sexual orientation. But Chile, it is about where you from.
Where you from.
Okay, like what region your parents came from. All those things make you who you are. They're all part of your culture and all of us intersect. And so you standing over there, I could kind of picture this, okay? I can picture this moment of you standing there with some hot cornbread and some milk and somebody being so excited to see you doing what you're doing because it felt so real to them. Like, oh my God, you do that too. You know what I'm saying?
And then they probably went and did it too. It was like, forget this long line. I'm going to just get my 3 ingredients and get them out of here. Okay?
Period.
Forget these lines. What? Yes. But no, that's awesome. That's so
I
awesome.
love that.
So
I
tell
love
us
that.
about your pod.
So I am, I'm interviewing college freshmen as well as other college students and people who share experiences relevant to college life. So just want to be able to have a place where a student who maybe feels alone can like just drop in and feel like they've got a classmate who is going through similar experiences.
And is that something that you wanted to create kind of based on your own journey? Like what inspired you to start with
Yeah.
the freshman year?
So my freshman year was the hardest for me. And so that was the year where I really was like, I'm not sure if I'm cut out for this. I did not know it at the time, but I have a challenge with reading that I didn't realize. Like I knew that I struggled with reading, but I didn't know why. It wasn't actually until I was in my doctoral program that I realized what was going on, and got diagnosed with it's called a vertical phoria. So my eyes don't track well together. Like and so it really causes me to slow down with my reading. And so my freshman year in college was the hardest for me because that was the transition from, just homework that was just wasn't as just didn't have as much homework in high school as I did once I got to college. Like not necessarily the amount of homework, but just like you went from in high school, like we're going to cover this textbook all year versus, we're going to cover this textbook in a semester. And, rather tracking like one chapter a week, you're talking about several chapters before you have class again. So it was very hard for me to catch up. I mean, to stay on pace. And so I struggled a lot my freshman year. And so that's where I have a sweet spot, because all depending upon your high school experience, where you graduated from high school, you could literally be a valedictorian at a high school. And if it was not a high school that had a certain degree of academic rigor, you can get into college and fall behind. Or you can take a college placement test and find out that they're putting you in remedial classes, but yet you graduated at the top of your high school. Mm-hmm. And so I struggled my freshman year. Again, it was just trying to keep up with all that reading. And on top of that, like reading also makes me tired. And so I just felt for college freshmen. And then also knowing that, the freshman year is the year that when students do drop out of college, it mostly happens during that freshman year. Mm-hmm. And so when I consider that, for me, I knew that my ticket to a better life was going to be through a college degree. And had I dropped out, like, I don't know where I'd be, because again, it was my GPA that landed my job. So, to go from struggling to graduating with honors to applying to get a job that required me to have a certain GPA to even get in, I just, I feel for students who might drop out not knowing what lies ahead, mm-hmm. and what doors may be open. Because I've never heard anybody say, I regret finishing college. But you always hear stories about people who, regretted dropping out, and just kind of like wonder where their life would have been had they finished. And so that's why I'm mostly passionate about college freshmen.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the work you're doing.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Like, that's so awesome. And just like, because when you were talking, I think about the speech that we all heard when we started like our freshman year. Look to your left and look to your right. The likelihood of that person being here will not be. But then it's like, you may have like your counselor or whatever, but they're just kind of there to just kind of check in once in a while. But to look at you who kind of come through, who've gone through the struggle and overcame it all, to then be like, here is another anchor of like actual support, and not just like, well, they might not be here, figure it out type vibe. I can really just genuinely appreciate it. Like Anna said, thank you. I really admire that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So when I was, once I finished school, I just sat back and like thought about what my journey was like. And so that's when I initially wrote the book, Academic Survival, Simple Strategies for Improving Your Grades. Because literally, I went from like, I hope I can make it to graduating with honors. And it was just simple stuff. And so I initially wrote that book. And then years later, I just decided to name the podcast after the book that I wrote. So,
yeah.
And so this is y'all's cue to go check out the podcast, okay? Academic Survival. And Shandra, thank you so much for joining us on the show.
It's been awesome.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And I laughed a lot today. Thank you for tuning in to the Head Nod Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on the Cube app and at DCP Official across social. Family, follow my sis Adele at I am Adele Coleman across all socials.
And follow the coolest to ever do it, Anna Deshawn at Anna Deshawn on all socials.
Listen wherever you get your podcasts. And if you really dig it, leave a rating and a review. Keep nodding your heads with us. Until next time, this is the Head Nod.